Now let us understand the importance of the AWGN channel capacity here. Okay, so the first thing is it is a building block, and the second thing is it serves as a motivating example of what exactly the capacity means here. Okay, and how exactly the reliable communication is possible with the strictly positive data rate here. These two things are important from the point of importance of the channel here. Okay, now let us understand the repetition coding here. Okay, let us consider an scheme here, that is binary phase shift keying here. Okay, so uncoded BPSK symbols we are going to consider, that is x of m is equal to plus or minus of root p here. What is the error probability in this particular uncoded BPSK scheme here? Okay, so that is q into bracket of p divided by sigma square here. Okay, now we wanted to reduce the error probability in this kind of a modulation scheme here. Okay, so what should I do here? Okay, so what has been done here is uh, one symbol or one message or one information is being repeated n number of times here. Okay, so one information or one message or one symbol is being repeated n times, so that a bit of information is transmitted from the source to destination, or it has to receive at the destination site here reliably from the source here. Okay, okay, and the repetition code, it depends upon the block length n also here. Okay, so let us consider two code words here, that is you can see here xa and xb here. Xa is nothing but plus 1 is there here, p of 1 2 3 t is there here, and xb is nothing but p of minus 1 t. Okay, so now the code words meet power constant of p joules per symbol. How much the power will be there for per symbol is p joules per symbol is. Now let us assume that if xa is transmitted here, how exactly our received vector should be visible? Okay, should have the data here. Okay, that has been represented by the equation number 1 here. Y is equal to xa plus w here. I think you know the word is xa here. Xa is nothing but the information symbol, and w is nothing but your noise here. Okay, now when does error occurs here, that comes into picture now. Now whatever the received vector y is there here, if this received vector y, okay, is very closer to xb here then xa here, then the error probability is given by, okay, we have transmitted xa here, okay, and the received vector should have the xa here. Okay, if at all the received vector y is very closely available with the xb rather than the xa, then we consider there is some error. Okay, so this has been written in the equation number 2 here. Okay, but this error is going to decay here exponentially with the block length. Again, I said the repetition code is dependent on the block length capital N here, right? So, uh, so now how exactly the reliable communication could be done here is we should have enough, what you can say, that block length of the repetition code here. Then only the good communication can happen between the source and the receiver here, or a source and a sink here. Okay, usually what will be the data rate per symbol time is 1 by n here. Okay, as the number of n goes increasing, that means block length of the repetition code, number of times the same symbol which is going to be transmitted, if increases here, then the data rate becomes 0 here. Okay, right. So the reliable communication with the repetition code can be improved marginally with the help of a multi-level PAM here, pulse amplitude modulation can be utilized to improve here. Okay, and that equation number 3 indicates the m level pa symbol probability of error here. Okay, as long as the number of level grows here, that is m goes on increasing here. Okay, levels at the rate less than the whatever the symbol time is there here. Okay, reliably is guaranteed here at larger clock lengths here, but the data rate is bounded by what you can say the log of root n divided by n here, and this still goes to 0 as the block length increases here. Okay, you can also write here the rate is log m by n here, bits per symbol here. If we are using this m level PAM here, multi-level PAM, for reliably uh, uh, communicating between the transmitter and receiver with repetition coding means uh, whatever the rate will be there, log m by b bits per symbol will be there here. Okay, if at all our m grows beyond this particular rate here, then uh, uh, we cannot guarantee what you can say that reliable communication. If our number of level m is within the limit of this particular rate, that is log m by n, then we can reliably communicate here. Okay, so this is what is regarding the repetition coding here. Now let us try to understand the packing spheres here. Okay, so this packing sphere comes into picture uh, when there is some disadvantage that is associated with the repetition coding here. So repetition coding, as I said, it is done with all the code words here. There is nothing but m levels you can consider it, but it is done within just one dimension here. Okay, only one dimension is considered for this repetition coding here. Okay, so as we are very much aware of that, the signal space has a large number of dimensions here. Okay, whatever the signal space is available for us here, or you can say whatever the space that is available for us to transmit a message from one place to another place is having a large dimensions here. Okay, but repetition coding is one of the very inefficient way of packing the code words here. Okay, to to communicate more effectively, so whatever the code words are there, or can say that message xa and xv, which we have discussed in the previous repetition coding, right? So that has to have to spread in n dimensions here. Okay, so that is what we need to understand from the packing sphere here. Now, so that disadvantage from the repetition code was removed in the packing sphere here. So what we're doing here is, so how much number of codes, or how many number of codes has been packed for the given power constant P here. Okay, that will be depicted in a figure 3.2 here. You can see here, and by the law of large numbers here, how many dimensions we are considered here? N dimensions we are considered here. So if at all we are having n dimensions here, what is the received vector here? Okay, so that will be y is equal to x plus w here. Okay, that will is going to lie within this y sphere here. Of there is certain radius that has been given here, n into bracket of p plus sigma square here. So without the loss of generality, we need to only focus on what happens inside this y sphere here. Okay. Okay, so now, so as then when this capital N here, okay, capital N, or dimensions here, dimensions is going to increase here. Okay, the received vector, okay, y, okay, lies with high probability near the surface of a noise sphere of radius n into sigma here around the transmitted code word here. Okay, and this particular thing is called as sphere hardening effect here. Okay, so why? Because if at all, instead of having 4 or 5 dimensions here, if at all we are having 30 or 40 dimensions here, so there is a high probability that our whatever the received vector is there, it is going to lie near to the whatever the noise sphere is there here. Okay, this is also called as a sphere hardening effect here. Okay, so uh, as long as the reliable communication is going to happen here, as long as this noise spheres should not overlap with our code words here, which has been transmitted here, right? Okay, so the maximum number of code words that can be packed with a non-overlapping noise sphere is nothing but here a ratio of the value of a y sphere to the value of a noise sphere here. It has been given here, you can see. Okay, so this implies that the maximum number of bits per symbol that can be reliably communicated is using this particular equation 1 by 2 log of 1 plus of p divided by sigma square here. Okay, this is indeed the capacity of the AWG channel here. Okay, so if at all we have a large number of dimensions here, there is a problem here, right? There is a problem that our transmitted code may be near to the noise here. Okay, the only condition which we need to take care is our transmitted code word should not overlap the noise sphere here. Then only we could say that reliable communication is going to happen here between transmitter and receiver here. Okay, now the last thing here is just statements are there here. The sphere packing argument only yields the maximum number of core words that can be packed while ensuring reliable communication here. Okay, if one picks the code word randomly and independently with the components of the each code being IID. What is IID here? IID. What is IID? IID is nothing but identically. What you can say that sorry, it is independent and identical distributed random variables here. Okay. Then with very high probability, the randomly chosen code will be uh, do the job at any rate less than the capacity of the channel here. Okay. So this is so called as the Gaussian code. What is Gaussian code is this definition you can mention here. Okay, that is randomly you can pick any code word here, and they are independently with the components of the each code here, and they are independently identically distributed random variables here. Okay, make sure that whatever the rate is there, it should be less than the capacity of the channel here. Then only it is called as a Gaussian code here. There is something called as a capacity achieving AWGN codes here. Okay, so here the whatever the codes are there, if the codes, okay, if the codes operate very close to the capacity, okay, okay, very close to the capacity of the particular channel here, okay, then they are called as a capacity achieving AWGN codes here. Okay, so this is what I could explain regarding the initial introduction to the capacity of wireless channels here, and then regarding the concept of repetition coding and packing sphere here.